All right, so tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking some of the turkey that I shot this spring here, and we're going to turn it into some ground turkey sausage. So what we're going to do there is we're going to take the breasts that I took out of the turkey, and I'm actually going to take some pork butt that I just bought from my local store, and we're going to mix all of that together, basically a one-to-one. For every pound of turkey, I'm going to add a pound of pork butt in there. So I kind of get that nice fat in there. Turkey's going to be a little drier than your typical domesticated turkey or your beef or your pork. So we like to get that extra fat added in from the pork butt here, so we can get that nice juiciness into the sausage when we're going to make it here. So looking forward to putting this all here together for you guys today, and hopefully this is something you all can take away. One thing we want to make sure we do here is on these tenderloins from the chicken breast is to get this ligament out of here. So you just take a fork and you pull that ligament up, and then you're just going to pull it straight out. And there, you got that out. So then you don't have to worry about that silver skin from that tenderloin getting mixed up into your meat. Silver skin out of those tenderloins from the turkey breast. Now we're going to want to go ahead and we're going to want to make sure just to kind of cube up those breasts that we have. Makes it a little easier to go through the grinder here. My grinder is a smaller, little older one, so the more work you can do to have that work less is going to help you out in the long run to speed up this process. Now that you've got the turkey all cubed up, small enough for the grinder, now what you're going to want to do is focus on this pork butt here, get this cubed up here. Again, we're looking at pretty much equal parts of turkey to pork shoulder. I'm actually going to have a little bit of more pork shoulder in here. This is a little bit of a leaner pork shoulder that I was able to get today. So I'm going to add a little bit more in there, just make sure I get that extra fat content that I'm wanting for my turkey. So now really all I'm going to do here is I'm going to debone this. There's a little bit of bone in here. Get that bone out of there. Cube this up too. I want to make sure I keep all this fat content here intact. I want to make sure I have as much fat added into this this ground turkey sausage to make sure that it stays moist. It doesn't get dry as we're cooking it, as we're going to consume it. All right, now that we've got all the pork butt cubed up, we've got our turkey cubed up, now it's going to be time to go through the first round here in the grinder. So my grinder here that I have, it's an older grinder, something that came from Gander Mountain when it was still a thing. So what we're going to do here is we are going to actually put all this together. We're going to run it through these larger settings first to make sure that we kind of get everything initially broke down. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run through in the smaller setting and even the smallest setting if we really want to. I don't think that's going to be necessary for what we're looking to do here for sausage. So really work through these two larger grinding plates right here. And once we're done, get everything packaged up. All right, so now that we've got the grinder all set up here, now it's time to run all the meat through the grinder for that first phase. All right, so now that we have everything done through the pre-grind, I'm actually going to go ahead and add my seasoning here at this point, mix it up a little bit, and I'm actually going to run it through that same wider plate one more time, just to make sure I've got all the larger chunks out, all the little bit of tendons or anything that is still in there are ground up real nice, before I then go ahead and run it through this bigger or smaller plate here, still with the bigger holes, to really kind of give it that nice form that we're looking for. I've actually already taken some time to figure out the scales here on the pork sausage here. Here's the pork sausage mix that I have. Just came from my local grocery store that I go to. So we're actually going to be using 2.4 ounces of this mix here. I've got my handy dandy scale here, and we'll get everything weighed out accordingly. So now here I'm just going to take my mixture, And I'm just going to sprinkle everything in and mix it up. Now that we're all mixed up, time to put her back through the grinder one more time here. Then we'll put on that slightly finer, still large head on there before we start to package it up. All right, so we're done with round 2. And actually, I'm thinking this is pretty good. I am going to run it through one more time just for good measure. However, I think the consistency of it right now is good enough to be considered complete. But being that this is the first time I've gone start to finish on this sausage making process, I want to make sure that I go through all the steps just to make sure that it turns out right the first time. All right, after all that work, grinding, here we have our product. Now, just to get out the handy dandy vacuum sealer, put it away. So when I go ahead and package this up here, I'm going to do it in 1.5 pound packages. That's usually what we do on everything else when we get our ground beef, venison, everything, 1.5 pounds. Family of 5 helps us eat everything. So we're going to go ahead and get all this packaged up. Quart bags, vacuum sealer, call it a night. Alright, so there you have it, folks. Start to finish, homemade ground wild turkey sausage, and the end result. We will tune back here. I will add on to the end of this on what the final result was, and if it's worth it for you to go ahead and try making it yourself. Till then. Just frying up some of that fresh turkey sausage. You can see how it's going to taste here this morning. Get that first taste. Know if I did a good job or not. We'll find out. So I decided to do a turkey sausage burrito here this morning, and got some sriracha to put on after the fact. But we're going to try it first, just by itself. See how that turkey really tastes. And the moment of truth. That is some good turkey sausage. I will definitely be doing this again when I get my next bird. Something definitely should try out.